What's up? What's up? How you guys doing this morning? Thanks for the rose, man. I appreciate you. I haven't done groups of threes like that in a minute. That stuff can get really complicated. Excuse me. We're just warming up, guys. I just remembered I had a video I need to post. Y'all got any drum questions for me this morning? How's it going? How's it going? Yeah, I completely understand, man. Yeah. It is a TD17. TD17. I gotta keep reminding myself to have better posture. That's something I've been working on lately. There's always things you can work on as a musician. Oh yeah, I haven't played that in forever. All right. I'm trying to figure out how to stick it. There we go. Yeah, posture and drumming. Yeah. I mean, dude, the longer you play, like I get now to where I'm teaching for like hours on end at this point. So the longer you play, man, the more it matters. I played for over 20 years with bad posture, and I'm just now like, all right, I gotta start working on that. There you go. There's beautiful people. The only thing about beautiful people is when you play it, you got to start with the right hand. That's the only way that makes it work really well. Right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right. I had to remember that. The beautiful people, the beautiful people. I guess it's faster than that. There you go. We should play Guess That Tom Groove. Let's play Guess That Tom Groove. Let's see if y'all can guess it. Your hint is 2000s emo-ish. No, it's not Offspring. They do have one like that, though. I know what you're talking about. What's up? That's Swing Swing by All American Rejects. We come and go, I'm dreaming of her, seeing other guys' emotions are scared. Nights are long, tears fall. You think I would cry on the phone? What's up? What's up, Diva? Sure. Because I'm playing emo. Is that why I'm a diva? Not really sure why I'm a diva, but hey, I'll take it, I suppose. Yeah, I know they've been doing parking lots. That's cool. All right, let's keep the Tom Groove thing going. This is an easy one. Who knows that? Yeah. How about who knows that one? Yeah, Mike's getting all of them. Hybrid Rudiments, yeah. I know some hybrid rudiments. What's hybrid moments? What does that mean? I know hybrid rudiments. I don't know hybrid moments. Oh, Misfits. I never really got into Misfits, to be honest. I was that poser who only liked pop punk from the 2000s. I never really got into the actual punk. Not really. It is what it is, you know? I have lots of favorite songs to drum to. Anything I grew up with playing, you know? System, Chevelle, Disturbed, Korn, Blink, Some, Taking Back Sunday. I played all that stuff growing up. Linkin Park. Anything that I played growing up. Yeah, Trust Company. Yeah. Make me fall just to see the other side of me. I appreciate it, man. Just warming up. Thanks for the TikToks, man. I appreciate that, dude. The beginning of it's like I just got to put the threes on there, which I'm still trying to get better at. That's the beginning of it anyways. I only know the beginning of it. Let's see. I forgot how to play that song. I don't remember anymore. I have to listen to it again. What's up, Sierra? Thanks for the follow. What drum questions y'all got for me? What you got for me this morning? Who's learning drums? Who's got questions? Who's learning drums? Who's got questions? Let's talk drums. Or if you want to keep doing songs, that's cool. I'll keep playing little parts of songs. Painkiller, all I know about Painkiller is it does this sort of that kind of thing, you know? Thanks for the questions. Here we go. How do you make Rosanna Shuffle easier? The problem with the Rosanna Shuffle is that it's not just the Rosanna Shuffle. It's really like a bunch of things baked into each other, you know? And so the first thing, in other words, there's steps and there's layers. The reason why the Rosanna is so hard is because there's a bunch of layers, right? And so you got to pick off one of those layers, one layer at a time, as far as your practice goes. Don't go straight for this because you're going to have a bad time, as South Park would say. You don't want to go straight for that, okay? You want to first just start out just learning what a shuffle even is, which is based in triplets: 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, or a halftime shuffle. So believe it or not, just practicing 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 1, just practicing that first without any fancy stuff is what's going to eventually get you to because a shuffle, at the end of the day, the DNA of a shuffle is any kind of shuffle is this sort of outline of a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 1. Now, the next layer would be more of the dynamics of it, because dynamics help make shuffles work well. What's up, Brian? So part of the dynamics of a shuffle is to accent the first note and relax the second. And we can do that different ways. The classic way of doing that is you accent on the shoulder. You do what's called a tap or an up on the second note. So you get this triplet, 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 triplet. And believe it or not, just going from triplet, 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 just going from this to this, hear the difference in the feel and the sound? Now, it doesn't mean that you always need that hard of a dynamic either. That's sort of a myth. Just because this is more complicated doesn't always make it more right in a musical situation. Sometimes you need a softer shuffle, like in like classic country and stuff. You don't want a real heavy accented sound. So it depends on the style of the shuffle. See, the shuffle itself has many styles within it. That's why shuffle is sort of a general category of different grooves that stylistically, you know, any of the categories still has the 1, a 2, a 3, a 4 baked in. Whether it's a classic sort of 2/4 shuffle, a 2/4 shuffle with some accent on it, or a halftime shuffle where the snare is on 3. And whether that has an accent on it or if it's just straight. See, all of that matters down to that amount of detail because pro drummers intentionally play with either a heavier accent on purpose or a softer accent. Either way, the rhythm is actually the same. 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 1. Da, da. All right, the next layer is adding ghost notes. So that's why Rosanna is so hard, because you have to technically accent on the shoulder, ghost the snare, tap up the hat. It's 3 different articulations back to back. And if you don't already have that foundation of a shuffle baked in your muscle memory, then trying to do all of those articulations and trying to do a rhythmic idea, you're going to have a bad time. All right? So you just start out all 3 of those different articulations very slowly. Shoulder, goes, tap. Really what some people call an upstroke because you're going up to go to the next accent. Whatever, okay? Shoulder, ghost, up or tap, whatever. Shoulder goes tap, shoulder goes tap, shoulder goes tap, shoulder goes tap. Now, you're probably thinking, this still doesn't sound like a Rosanna shuffle. This guy's been talking for like 10 minutes at this point. What's going on here? This is how it works, okay? You learned the foundation of what a shuffle is first. Then you start putting the decorations on it. These are decorations. These are articulations. See, in music, you first learn foundational things like singles. Then eventually you learn to make singles more interesting. They need more articulated dynamics. But some people never get to that point because they're lazy. Or they never had an instructor teach them how to do those sort of things. Either way, one of the two. It's the same thing with a shuffle. You can start out with a basic foundation of the rhythm with not much dynamic contrast or articulation. Then you get into the articulation world. One articulation on the hat. The second type of articulation would be on the snare, which is what we call ghost notes. And if you don't know ghost notes, then you need to quit playing around with a shuffle and practice ghost notes with regular grooves. See, when drummers are playing a ghost note inside of a halftime shuffle, the part you're missing is the fact that they've been practicing ghost notes in all kinds of different grooves for a long time. Now, if you put all that together, the shuffle plus the articulation plus the snare on 3 plus the ghost notes, and then so you have to put all that together first. Then once you have all of that together, now and only now, muscle memory wise, can I even start to try to add a bass drum to all of that? See, that's the problem. You can't really add a bass drum to anything that doesn't have muscle memory first. Everything in music and in drumming is about muscle memory. It's the same reason why I can play all 3 of those articulations and talk to you at the same time. That's how you want to get before you can really start adding bass. With the exception of just one. Okay? If you want to add any bass when you're still learning it, then you put bass drum on 1. Okay? But if you want to decorate it even more, you got to slow it down and get this hands thing going and just kind of express yourself on the bass over time. It's the same way you learn anything. Like earlier this year, I wanted to learn how to go 1, 2, and 4. This pattern right here has gotten kind of popular in modern drumming over the past couple of years. And I've been listening to it and been hearing it and been like, that's fresh, that's newer. I need to learn how to do that and express myself with it. And I still am not able to express myself with it, but I can play around within it because I learned how to do this first. See, I'm still working on trying to express myself with the bass drum over that idea. And I'm still not there yet. But that's how it is, man. Every single time you learn a new style, doesn't matter if it's jazz, doesn't matter what it is, you have to learn kind of a new hand pattern and a new foundation for that particular style. And then learn how to kind of talk within it, you know? Which in the jazz world is comping. I've been working on trying to change my hi-hat up because I've always been stuck on 2 and 4 on the hat. And true jazz cats know how to change their hat up, and I'm not very good at it still. One thing I want y'all to notice is I always know where my weaknesses are, as well as the things that I can do. And that's very important as a musician. You know, a lot of times musicians get stuck behind this, oh, I can't do it, man. I suck. No, your weaknesses are powerful, man. You need to know your weaknesses and be real with yourself and be real on your weaknesses so that you can freaking work on it. What do you think practice is? If you lie to yourself and you just say I'm amazing at everything, then you have nothing to practice, my man. Okay? That's no fun. Tears for Fears. It's like It's based in triplets. That's what makes that groove sound so crazy. Because they're really playing a triplet kind of grid. So triplet, and you got this crazy bass drum pattern underneath it. Which is really just a classic blues bass drum pattern. It's actually like a shuffle. You take that blues bass drum pattern and you put those ticket-tick-cacket-tick, 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 ticket-tick-cacket-tick. See, being able to play that requires just understanding what triplets are. Triplet, 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 triplet. See, I'm accenting one side of the triplet. Triplet, 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 triplet. All right, I take that to the hat, put an accent on the snare to make it a groove, ghost note the rest of it, and I can have a 6/8 or a triplet style groove. Triple the 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 triple the. Once again, that just becomes its own style at that point. That I can learn how to put whatever I want in the bass underneath. I haven't really practiced that much, to be honest. It's the same thing when you're doing like 16th notes. If I'm playing a 16th note groove, I first have to learn this as a style. Then I have to learn how to play within it by changing my bass and my snare. But I first have to learn this foundation first. 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a See, being able to express yourself in drumming only works after you have the foundational element of a specific style down. If I have this element of this style down, then and only then can I start to really speak within it. And the problem is, a lot of drummers just learn the foundational style of things and call it a day, right? Like they learn the foundational style of shuffle or the foundational style of 16th note grooves, and they just call it a day. All right, I can do it. Now let's move on. But truth be told, every style has levels within it. And so even if you're talking about 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into, for example, you can take that all kinds of places that drummers typically don't do. Like expression. See, the reason why drummers are really good at playing in 4 is because it's the only thing standardly that drummers do get good at anyways. Meaning when we practice songs and when we practice drums, we mostly generate the automated 4 vibe, which means you're going to get mostly comfortable in playing in 4, whether that's moving the bass drum around or snare drum around. That's why drummers get really good at lots of independence in 4, E's and U's, and all of these things, you know, open hats. But truth be told, to take it even to the next level past your average drummer, you want to be able to do that kind of stuff in different particular styles, which goes back to why Rosanna is so hard. It's a specific style within shuffle that I then learn to communicate within. So if you want to go to the next level in drumming, you don't just learn the foundation of every style. You don't just call it a day after learning jazz like this. That's what high school students do, and it's great. It's a start. But after you learn how to do that, then you start to speak within it. Eventually. It takes a lot of time, obviously. And in jazz, that's what comping is. But this is how drumming works in general, like tom grooves, for example. A lot of drummers learn this or this. Those are kind of just basic tom grooves, to be honest with you. They cut the cheese, they work. You know what I mean? They cut the check. They cut it, they work. But how about taking it further? How about taking a specific style and taking a specific pattern, if you will, or theme, and working on that theme and then just learning to express yourself within that. See, the expression part, musicians love to learn foundations, but they don't always love to learn to express within those foundations because that's the next level, you see? That's the next level. With anything you learn, you have to learn the foundational element of that thing. And then if you want to get really good at music, you also need to be able to express yourself within that thing. It's the same reason why guitarists get so addicted to minor pentatonic. It's like they learn the foundation, including me. I'm guilty of this on guitar as well. They learn the foundation of that scale and it feels comfortable. But then they basically just learn the scale for what it is and put a backing track on and express a little bit. But including me, they don't go deeper, like learning all the 5 positions and learning how to express themselves even deeper and finding chord tones. And I understand all that stuff, but I don't practice it enough. And that's why I'm not a lead guitarist, you know? Not that lead guitarists only play in minor pentatonic, but I actually understand how lead guitar works pretty well. I'm just not very good at it. Because I haven't sat down and learned all 5 positions of the pentatonic scale. Now, what does that have to do with drumming? What I'm basically saying is in music, when you learn a foundation, whether it's a scale or whatever it is, a foundational element, you need to then try to take it to the next level by expressing within that thing. So going back to the tom groove thing, all right? How can I learn how to express myself within this? Well, usually in drumming, it just means you're trying to take a foundational element and then create some sort of different sort of melodic themes around that thing, right? So right now, I'm sort of still in foundational mode. I'm not going to get any cred from the drumming community for doing this because everyone does it. But don't think of it that way. That's not really the entire point. The point is really expression. See, music is a language. So if I can't express, I can't do a whole lot, okay? But if I take this pattern and I learn how to play this, but then I also learn how to express myself. So now, I ventured very, very far away from the original topic, which was the tom groove. But I was doing that on purpose to a degree. And that's kind of how drum solos are built. Drum solos are built, and that's why it's really important to understand eventually in your drumming career what solo style is, because solo style is really the first time where you really start to learn how to express and not just copy. A lot of times drummers copy, which is beautiful, you know, but you also got to spend some time expressing as well. You can't just copy. You got to express, man. If you want to have your own voice on the instrument anyways, you know? All right, what is the question here? What is a good tempo to practice doubles? A good tempo is whatever your hands feel, okay? See, a big part of being a musician is learning to understand and feel and listen to yourself. Part of that has to do with, I mean, if I was working with you, we could really nail this down a lot, but basically tension equals bad, just like with anything else, right? And technique equals good. Like rebound. Rebound is good because that's how all of the mechanics of drumming works. My wrist goes down, the stick comes back up. That's called rebound. Now in doubles, what happens is the stick rebounds and then I bring it back down and then I rest. Stick rebounds, bring it back down and rest. Stick rebounds, bring it back down and rest. This is what doubles is. Now, to answer your question, it depends on where you are in this game, okay? If it's your first week playing doubles, then don't put on a metronome at all. See, one reason why musicians end up hating metronomes, one reason, is because they don't understand that it's a tool that's used in a certain sequence of events. Meaning, when you first learn something, you don't actually want to use a metronome at all. You want to get sort of acquainted with it to a degree. So if I'm playing double strokes here, a metronome is not going to help me that much. You could argue that it would, but the problem with metronomes is if it's too slow, then it's not really going to help you for most average people. All right, because too slow is hard to follow. But as you gradually increase with less tension and you relax, about here is where a metronome can start to be an effective tool, but you don't actually necessarily need it, I would argue. Your relationship with double strokes at first needs to just be how much rebound am I using and, just getting your hands used to the idea of a double. Notice how I'm playing really big, too. I'm big on with my drummers are first starting out, especially on a pad, not on a real drum. But when you're first starting out on a pad especially, let that rebound as much as possible because that's going to help you learn how to use the rebound later on. Now, once you get to about here, this is where metronome can really start to help you more and more and more because, you can think of that as like 16th notes. Beat, bop, 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 beat, bop, 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 beat. Here's the thing. She said, I practice doubles on a pillow a lot. This is a very controversial topic in the drumming community. And here's why. A pillow gives you zero rebound. Now, here's the thing about that. That doesn't mean that's necessarily bad, but it's also not good either. And I'll tell you why. The reason why it is good is because you're forcing your wrists. You're basically training your wrist. And see, anytime you're doing anything, you need to know what you're training and what purpose that is. So if you're doing the pillow, you need to be doing it for wrist training, not because you think you're learning about rebound, because there's no rebound, right? And so if you're doing it for your wrist, fine. But here's the thing. The reason why it's not good is because drumming isn't just about the wrist, okay? Drumming is about the wrist and the rebound and the fingers and everything working together and that communication. So a pad is way more productive than a pillow. The pillow thing is more of a niche thing where after you already know how to play a rudiment really well with rebound, like say I'm playing the rudiment like here with rebound, and I want to express that and I want to build that even more. Think of the pillow thing as more niche. It's like if I want to get to here with my doubles, then yes, okay? When I'm only mostly using wrist for that, then yeah, your pillow is going to help you with that because it just does, right? It helps you learn how to kind of choke the doubles and use your wrist for it. So it all depends on what technique you're using because the truth is, especially when it comes to double strokes, it's a lot more tricky than that because you can use wrist for doubles, but you can also use what's called diddles. And diddles is when I throw my wrist down once and I get 2 notes out of it. Now, what the world? When do you use a diddle? You use a diddle when you're trying to go really fast with doubles because your hand is really just doing this fundamentally, but you're diddling, so you're getting this. So that's a whole nother topic. It's a whole nother technique, but it's how drummers actually play rolls. All right. So what does that mean? It means that in double strokes, there's 2 very different techniques. Okay. There's slower, more medium wrist rebound doubles. And then there's faster diddled doubles. Like right now I'm playing diddles. And what happens is the better and the longer you play is your hand just naturally knows what to do. Like, the beautiful thing about technique is eventually you learn so many of them that your hand just naturally, it's like an engine or a transmission. It automatically knows what gear to get into. So your hands, as you increase tempo, automatically learn, for this tempo, this is the most efficient thing I can do. So that's why you wouldn't use your wrist when you're playing doubles really fast. But if you use wrist for fast doubles for practice, it makes your doubles more clean. So even though you're using diddles, if you use your wrist for doubles faster, it makes you better at diddles, believe it or not. Crazy. Now, when it comes to doubles, you also have to remember, your goal is not necessarily to play them into eternity. Your goal is to actually play different rhythms and different rudiments. So 5-stroke roll is one of the most productive things you can practice when it comes to learning how to play doubles and learning how to play rolls. All right? Diddles. Yeah, diddles. I think someone's making fun of me because back in the day, I spelled it wrong in a book that I published. Yeah, with the D. Yeah. If you don't know about that, then fine. But I could totally see someone trolling me about that. I definitely spelled it wrong back in the day. So if you're not trolling me on that, then that's just my conscience going, hey, someone's making fun of you, even though you're not. Yeah, I can play a 21 Pilots song, yeah. One of the coolest 21 Pilots beats, two of them that I know off the bat are... And the other one I know is... Fun stuff. I like Josh a lot. Josh is really cool. And then he also gets into like drum and bass stuff. Like, stuff like that. My drummer calls a certain guitar riff a whittly diddly. That's cool, man. All you have is a pillow, you need to get a pad. Straight up. I'm not a pad salesman, but you need to get a pad. This thing right here. I mean, the thing is, right? Don't take my word for it. Go look at the guys who have the best hands. Who are the guys who have the best hands and technique? The Marching Cats, DCI, all right? There's a reason why those cats have such good hands. One of those reasons is because they practice on a pad. Practice pad. One of the things about practicing on a practice pad that's really good is a practice pad expands the rebound. Like the rebound, it extends the rebound. So it's like it forces you to like use as much rebound as you possibly can because it dramatizes the rebound and the technique and stuff. You said you play couch. And you said you've been away from your kit for a few months. I did read your comment, yeah. What I'm saying is if you get a practice pad, then you can, I mean, that's really good for like hotels and like being away, away from your home and away from your kit. That's what drummers do in like hotels and stuff. And before shows and anytime you want to practice with your hands, you know. Yeah, I mean, there's other. Okay, so I know I shouldn't talk about the pillow thing. I know that's kind of deeply rooted, and it goes back quite a ways. There's a whole history with practicing on a pillow, and a bunch of really, really acclaimed cats have really, put that one on the table. So, I mean, I'm just talking from experience. I mean, I've been playing for over 20-something years, and I've practiced it on a pillow before. I've played on a pillow before. The thing you have to realize is it is not a good way to practice all the time. That's my point, okay? I'll argue that all day long. It's not a good way to practice all the time. If you put it in a balanced, it's like a balanced nutrition, right? If you want it to be part of how you practice, fine, because you're training your wrist more than anything. You got to know what you're training, I mean, I don't know anything about working out, but I do know when you're working out, you're training specific muscles, right? So you got to think about the pillow as you're training your, forearms and wrists more than anything, right? You're not doing anything with rebound, which in my opinion is a really bad thing because, I mean, one of the best things you can do is work on your rebound control. I mean, that's what stick control is all about. The dynamic control, rebound control. Sometimes you play on a coffee table. That's funny. What's up, Marcus? How you doing this morning? Brian's like, I didn't sign up for all this. Brian's like, this is like drum lessons. I signed up to listen to music and listen to drumming. Hey, I appreciate you for coming in here and just hanging out with me anyways, Brian, even though it's not necessarily your cup of tea. You'd rather me play songs. I totally get that. I really do. I'm good, man. What is Bulls of Bronx? What was that? By the way, anyone who's asking questions, hit me up if you want lessons. We got some openings coming up. So I've got some students I've been teaching for years and years who are starting to slow down on me. It happens, 3 in just the past week have said that they're done for a while. That I've been teaching for years. It happens, man. It's all good. But that opens up spots in the schedule, so just let me know, man. I know that one Pierce Avell song went around like crazy. That had to do really well for them. With the chicks dancing. I appreciate that. Sierra, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for asking questions this morning. I appreciate you. I hope you followed and you come back again and we continue to do this more. And if you're interested, I offer pay by the lesson. So I don't even do the whole monthly or, whatever. What am I thinking? Like, tuition and all that. A lot of teachers are like, you could pay for a month or 6 months at a time. I'm like, good Jesus, dude. I offer people one lesson at a time, whatever. That's how confident I am in what I do, to be honest with you. And I like the, there's a lot of reasons why I do that. I like the affordability that it offers people. I do $35 per lesson. And so that's way more affordable than what a lot of other people do, which is fine. I'm not downing that. It's just how I roll, man. And also it gives the student more flexibility. I don't actually put every other week in my schedule because that doesn't work well. But, in theory, someone could take one lesson a month if they really wanted to. Now, with that being said, that doesn't really work that well. I'll be honest with you. The best way to do it is have your same time in each week, and then we don't have any cancellation fee or anything. So if you have to cancel, you have to cancel. It's all good. But yeah, that's a little bit about my lessons and how I do it. Yeah, cool. We can always work on pad stuff too. It doesn't have to be drum set specific. It can be pad stuff, If you want to talk rudiments and technique and all that. To be honest, a lot of people who teach drum set, I don't want to say they don't know much about technique, but there's a lot of them out there where if you start going into the pad world, they're like, hey, can we play some grooves again? You know what I mean? And so I'm really versatile when it comes to all that. I can really talk to you very highly about technique and even marching and snare drum in general. I actually like teaching snare drum, like just snare drum. A lot of my drum set players, I encourage them to learn a lot more about snare. My favorite pad is the Vader pad. That's why I have two of them. This guy right here. The Vader pad. I like it. I don't know. I hadn't checked in a while. I mean, last time I checked, it was like, usually you can get a pad for like $20 to $30. Depends on what size you get, you know? Yeah, I mean, it don't feel, the need to hit me up for lessons either. We can always just, I'm trying to do a lot more lesson content in these lives, so whatever works best for you. But in a lesson, I don't just ramble the whole time, you know. I say some stuff, and I listen to where you're at, and, you know, it's all about you. It's not about me. In an actual lesson. I got a student coming in here about another 20 minutes, so we'll keep jamming until about then, you know? Who else has got some questions for me? Do some triplet practice. That's a good way to practice your shuffle. Someone asked me about shuffle earlier. You could practice with triplets. Kind of a nerdy way to do it, but that's really fast. I don't want to play shuffle that fast. See, that's one of the benefits of metronome is, unlike a song, a metronome offers you that creative freedom where you're trying to establish a foundation and then play off of it, okay? So, like, say I establish this foundation, right, for example. Now I tell myself, all right, let's expand to past that, you know? One thing you have to realize is, in music, is you can always push yourself. See, a lot of times musicians are afraid of messing up, but when you're practicing, if you're pushing yourself, you're going to mess up, you know? And that's okay. You can't be afraid of, I can teach you how to use a metronome. Yeah. Only on the one every two, yeah. That way you got the, yeah, I know what you mean, yeah. More of the subdivision than the downbeat? Yeah. I think, what's his name's app does that. Benny Greb. You're trying to argue that I've heard this argument plenty of times. It's more productive to use a metronome. Here's the thing, okay? Pros and cons. That's what you have to remember. There is no black and white, okay? When it comes to what you're talking about. Yes, you can keep a metronome on quarter notes, or even take off a lot of the quarter notes and try to make sure you land back on one. I get what you're saying, all right? But there's also a lot of value to practicing with subdivisions as well, because it helps you internalize rhythms. No, I'm not. You're literally talking about the sort of apps that like do stuff like this. And you know exactly where one is again. And what that really trains you to do is it trains you to hear space. And that's what you're saying. You're arguing that a good way to use a metronome, especially at a high level, is to train yourself to hear it every, like you said, although 8 bars is quite drastic. I don't think anyone could get that on perfectly. That's a little crazy. Okay, so you're just saying less downbeat, but more subdivision. Sure, man. All of these things are options, by the way. It's kind of like saying, hey, man, if you don't voice a chord this way, then you're not getting most out of your practice. You got to voice a chord this way, man. A metronome's a tool, man. You can use it lots of different ways. Case closed. Now, with that being said, it's good to be open to lots of different ways that you use it. You know, that's the thing. You know, you don't want to just get used to one way. So I agree with you there. I mean, I do get used to using it with subdivisions a lot because I like to express myself. So like just using quarter notes is cool, but say I'm putting on eighth notes or something, you know, then playing like triplets over that, you know. So there's so many different ways you can utilize a metronome. You don't even have to play the subdivision that's being, you know, that's being played. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I messed up there. Yeah, I know I wasn't. Yeah. Here's the thing. I agree with you. For one, whether you like it or not, I like when people challenge me on here. I like being challenged because it helps me grow. You know, so I like being challenged. Keep it up. 2, you know you're actually practicing when you mess up. So while this is technically more of a performance situation, I don't give a shit. I like being vulnerable. I like playing and pushing myself. Meaning I could just play that and be perfectly in time for the most part. And play stuff I already know I could play perfectly in time. But instead, I push myself to play things that are outside of that usual box, which is what people normally don't do in drumming. All right, well, then what do you think I should do? I'm listening. Most of that is in time, by the way. Might have been a little off, especially when I'm doing triplets over eighths. That's definitely something I need to continue to keep practicing. I agree with you, actually. Like I said earlier, I know most of my weaknesses, to be honest. I know most of my weaknesses. So are you playing the same licks? No. If you knew anything about drums, you would know I just played a bunch of licks. Lots of rudiments, lots of different stuff. No offense. Triplets, you know? I could definitely keep practicing triplets. Like when you do that thing where you go out of the typical groups, like when you do triplets, what you sound like is you sound like a DCI guy that shits on drum set players because, yes, I will admit all day long, DCI guys understand hardcore, complicated rhythms way better than drum set guys do. One, because they live in that world, you know, like the 30-second sextuplet world. Well, if you don't even do DCI, then shut your mouth, okay? Let's get real. I'll play this ball game. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. I'll play this ball game. Let's go. What else you got for me? Let's go. Let's go, baby. I know my shit. I ain't scared. Favorite rudiment. Forget what it's called. Paradiddle diddle. Paradiddle diddle. Paradiddle diddle. Paradiddle diddle. Paradiddle diddle. Paradiddle diddle. Paradiddle. Paradiddle diddle. Paradiddle diddle. Paradiddle. What kind of music do you play? Jazz or what? You sound like a jazz kind of guy. Anyone in the music world would know what I'm talking about when I say that. Nah, man, that wasn't the of 3, bruh. You're wrong, bruh. I studied at Berkeley, my man. Nothing wrong with Berkeley, by the way. Some of the best musicians ever come out of Berkeley, indeed. These young drummers coming out of Berkeley are nuts, dude. They are nuts. I could learn plenty from them. For sure. Single, double, triple, then paradiddle? Sure. You could do that too. I know all those exercises. I teach those exercises. You can hear how weak I am on my triples. But anyways, that's such a killer lick right there. I haven't done that in a while, actually. I pulled that one out of my butt. Growing up, who my favorite drummers were, like Travis. I grew a lot of influence off Travis, trying to play like Travis Barker growing up. But anyone I listened to and played a lot with, you know? Dude from System of a Down, John Domain. If you're saying LMAO, oh, dude, there's nothing wrong with Travis, man. Absolutely nothing wrong with Travis. He's clean. Yeah, Thomas Pridgeon, yeah, all day, man, for sure. He's such a badass. Nowadays, you know, Benny Greb, Chris Coleman, LP, JoJo, Larnell Lewis. Man, Larnell Lewis. Fix my doubles. Please tell me more, sir. Please tell me more. And I don't disagree with you. I mean, if we're talking like super fast, yeah, I get pretty shaky on that. Well, I'm doing that on purpose to a degree. I can do that a lot more if you want me to. That's what she said. Recommendations on an electric kit. As far as cheaper goes, the Alesis Nitro. Alesis Nitro. Nah, I'm scrapping with them. That's why I'm telling them, let's go, baby. I ain't scared. I mean, if I had Benny Greb in my chat, sure, I'd be bowing down and saying yes, sir. But you know what I mean. I mean, hell. Let's go. I've been doing the content thing for a long time. I ain't even used to it. I mean, I'm used to it, so let me just say. And to be honest, like I said, as a musician, I'm glad when people call me out. It's a good thing. Helps me continue to grow. But if you're going to call me out, you got to at least give me clean suggestions and be real, you know? Like I said, let's go. Let's talk about it. I ain't scared. Well, I don't feel like my doubles are that rough. Especially for a drum set player. I'm definitely not a DCI guy who can play like super, super solid, really fast, really kind of, you know, crazy doubles. But to be honest, in the drum set world, you don't have to be able to do that. In the drum set world, as long as you can, you just need to be able to play about right around in here somewhere. Dude, I improvise all the time, man. You don't know me very well, that's for sure. I'm not just a guy that just chops on the drums. Anyone who's used to me in here knows that. People are used to me playing music. But sometimes I like to just get on here and just kind of teach more than anything. Spanish music, I don't really, not. That's definitely one of my weaknesses. Or stuff like what's up, blind man? Yeah, I mean, when you're talking about stuff that's that complicated, you're right. I don't really have that much fluidity. I'm trying to get more fluidity. The thing is, for me, with those kind of patterns is it took me a long time to just get to a point where it all kind of clicked at least and had some kind of groove. I've only been able to play that kind of Latin stuff with some type of groove without it feeling shaky. Like, just fundamentally, the pattern itself. Within the past, like, 2 years, I haven't been able to play that kind of Latin stuff for a long time. It was the past 2 years when it really started to click more. So, yeah, I haven't had it good long enough to be able to... haven't had it good long enough to be able to sort of express and learn how to express in it that much, to be honest. You're right. I agree with you. You say so, buddy. You'll say so, my man. Yeah, it's fine, man. You know? But hey, guys, my student is here, and I got to get off here. So y'all have a good one, all right?